Hey, you ever feel like grabbing something you usually buy is a little more hit or miss these days? Or maybe the price tag jumped?
Yeah, definitely seeing some of that.
Okay, so let's unpack this because we're taking a deep dive into something that could be a big reason why. Potential shortages of everyday goods thanks to, well, U.S.-China tariffs.
Right. And what's fascinating, I think, is the long game here. These tariffs, they've been around in different forms,
Okay.
but the modern version really kicked off back in 2018. Initially, the focus was heavily on things like technology transfer.
Right, the IP theft concern.
Exactly. Concerns about U.S. companies having to share valuable tech, intellectual property theft. But the key thing now is these aren't going away. They're sticking around and even expanding.
Exactly, and we're talking huge sums. Tariffs now hitting hundreds of billions of dollars in trade.
It's massive.
And these latest increases, the ones happening between this year, 2024, and 2026, they're adding another, what, estimated $18 billion worth of goods annually?
That's the estimate, yeah. So our goal today really is simple.
Yeah, we just want to give you a clearer picture of what you might see less of or, pay more for based on what our sources are telling us.
Okay, so looking at the new tariffs, the ones coming in between 2024 and 2026, there's a definite strategy emerging, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Electric vehicles, EVs, they're facing a massive tariff hike, up to 100% effective this September.
Wow, 100%. That's huge.
It is. It's an aggressive move. Signals a clear intent to, well, protect the growing U.S. EV industry.
And maybe lessen the reliance on China for batteries.
Precisely. Even if it means, short-term price increases for you, the buyer.
And it's not just the finished cars, right?
No, exactly. The batteries themselves, the lithium-ion ones for EVs,
Yeah.
they jumped to 25% this year. Non-EV batteries follow in 2026, even battery parts.
So that hits EV costs, obviously, but maybe also things like home energy storage.
Could be, yeah. It ripples out. And this brings up that important question about where we get our critical tech from.
Like semiconductors.
Right. The brains of pretty much all our electronics, their tariffs go up significantly next year, January 1st, 2025, to 50%.
Yeah.
And similarly, solar cells. They face a big increase to 50% too this September. Again, the idea is to boost U.S. production.
Gotcha. But here's where it gets really interesting, I think, because it's not just the high-tech stuff, is it?
No, not at all. Basic medical supplies, think syringes and needles.
Seriously.
Yeah. Looking at a 100% tariff increase this year from zero, masks, respirators, those are also going up in phases, and rubber medical gloves could see huge increases up to 50 or even 100% by 2026.
Wow. That really points to, I guess, a desire to be less dependent on imports for essential healthcare items, especially after, well, everything with COVID.
Makes sense, doesn't it? Post-COVID realities. And what's crucial to understand really is how interconnected this all is.
How so?
Well, even tariffs on, say, raw materials like critical minerals and permanent magnets, those are also going up this year and next. They have a ripple effect. Think of it like this. If the cost of lithium or graphite goes up due to tariffs, the price of everything using those batteries, your phone, power tools, EVs, could also increase.
Right, the downstream effects.
Exactly. We're also seeing new 25% tariffs on steel, aluminum, and even those giant ship-to-shore cranes you see at ports, though there's a temporary exclusion for the cranes.
Okay, absolutely. Now, beyond these new targets, let's not forget all the everyday stuff that already has tariffs on it.
Good point. Lots already in place.
Like electronics, your smartphone, laptop, TV, gaming console. They've already got tariffs, right? Some up to 25%.
Correct. And since we rely so heavily on China for these, well, those prices might keep creeping up. And finding that specific model you want might get tougher.
Yeah, you hear about big companies like Apple looking to diversify, make things elsewhere.
They are. And if we connect this to, say, your closet and home, apparel, textiles, also existing tariffs, mostly 7.5%.
And China's a major source there, especially for, more affordable clothes.
Absolutely. So expect potential price hikes there, or maybe less stock on the shelves. Same story for shoes, sneakers, lots of imports, existing tariffs. Vulnerable.
And the fun stuff, toys, games, sporting goods.
Oh, yeah. We get a massive amount of those from China, something like 85%.
85%?
It's huge. So with tariffs already there, your kids' favorite action figures, your new bike, could become harder to find or just cost more.
Okay, and furniture, household goods.
Same deal. Furniture, kitchenware, travel goods, small appliances. They've got tariffs ranging from 7.5% to 25%. And it can be tough for smaller retailers especially. to find alternatives for some of those small electrics or specific home goods, which could mean fewer choices or higher prices for you.
Right. Now, all these tariffs, they don't happen in a vacuum, do they? There are other factors at play.
Definitely not. We're seeing things like supply chain hiccups continuing, retailers getting cautious with orders, maybe letting stockpiles dwindle, planning for busy seasons gets tricky.
So the bottom line for you, the listener, is kind of economic, isn't it?
Pretty much. These tariffs, they act like taxes on imports. Businesses often have to pass those costs on.
Gaining your money might not stretch as far.
Could be. Plus, there's always the risk of retaliation, China putting tariffs on U.S. goods, or maybe restricting exports of critical materials they control. Adds another layer of uncertainty.
So the big picture then is these concerns about shortages and higher prices, they seem pretty well-founded. It's this mix of new and old tariffs, plus how much we rely on China for certain goods.
That sums it up well. To keep it simple for folks listening, maybe keep an eye on electronics, clothing and shoes, toys and games, furniture, and just general household items.
Yeah, those seem like the areas where you're most likely to feel the impact first.
Probably, yeah.
And maybe a final thought. As you're thinking about what you need to buy down the line, perhaps consider how these big global trade shifts might change not just the price, but what's even available. It's definitely more than just today's shopping trip. It affects the whole economic landscape we're all in.